Joey Logano blames a bigger restart zone as the culprit of the lap 87 restart crash that took out several cars in that race. TJ.
Where were you at in the middle of all this?
We had fortunately just gotten spun out not too long before that.
Blaney hit you? Who hit you?
Corey LaJoy.
Oh, LaJoy hit you.
Yeah.
LaJoy had a good run, but he wrecked a lot of people yesterday.
Yeah, he ran into us off of turn 2 and spun us out. But,
Yeah.
he's right. I went back and looked, and there's no break. His speed picks up when he goes, and he goes. Just, I don't think it's a bigger restart zone. I think that helps to it. But we did this stuff even in the regular restart zone. Guys get antsy, start going. All it takes is for one guy to go a little bit and then slow down, and everyone behind him is jamming up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, and that's not on Joey at that point. That's on everyone. It's on everyone else trying to get a good start. I mean, we've seen him pile up at the old Phoenix, and that was a small restart zone. When the front stretch is the back stretch, we've had pileups there. We've had pileups at all, like a lot of the tracks. Just all depends. It takes one person.
Why do you think they made a restart zone bigger?
Because it gives the leader a little bit more of an advantage to when he can go. So it gives him a little bit more. Gives him more time to make the decision on what he wants, and it's a guessing game for the second place guy. Because with the restart zones the way they've had it, it's not a really big restart zone. So you can roll up there as a second place car and get a good restart, because the later the leader gets into the restart zone, the smaller the area he's going to go in, so it gets even easier. So if there's more area there, it just gives him more of an edge, and it could be half the size, twice the size. They're still going to roll up to that box. Everyone's getting ready to race. They're ready to go. So it just takes one guy to go a little bit, and they have to stop, and then they all do that. So I didn't see Joey do anything wrong.
Yeah, it can happen anywhere. I've seen it happen at Watkins Glen. It don't matter. If the guy, to your point, and I told somebody the story this weekend, I remember at Phoenix when the start-finish line was flip-flopped and it was on what is now the backstretch. I remember saying, because we could hear each other talk because we weren't near the cars, where we're close to the restart zone. At Phoenix, we're not. I am saying check up, check up, check up, and I hear the spotter beside of me going, green, 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 and I'm like,
who was it?
That ain't going to work too good. And that dude literally knocked the hood off of his car. So you also, it's a lot. Last year, prime example, man, I was yelling at Haley to check up, and he ended up knocking the shit out of somebody in front of him. He was like, well, you should have told me to stop. So, it is spotter driver communication can play into when you see a wreck like that happening in it. And listen, I'm not insinuating anything here, but there's some new blood on the spotter stand. There's some new guys up there in competitive situations that typically weren't, and they'll learn. But it's early in the year, and you got to work on your communication. But you can't be saying go when the leader hasn't gone yet.
Yeah, that's going to create. Even if the driver just goes a tiny bit and then stops, everyone behind him.
Everybody, yeah.
The third or fourth car in that line's.
Yeah.
But to your point, depending on where you are located and how easily you can see when that first car is going, how do you know when to say green or check up?
When you see him take off.
When you see the leader take off. You're watching the lead. Depending upon where you are in the line, a lot of times, Casey, you can almost listen for the leader to go. Like, let's say you're 20th in line on the bottom, right? You can't really watch the leader because 10th place on back in your row could have a problem, and now you're not going to see it if you're solely watching the leader. I remember watching guys watch the flag, and I would watch the flag for the initial start in the event that I'm close to the front. But if I'm not close to the front, you can't watch the flag. You can't watch the leader. You got to watch where you're at. You just got to be able to use your peripheral vision and some common sense. But no, I'll never forget that guy. Green, green, green. I'm going check up, check up, check up. Pow. Like,
is he still spotted?
Yeah. Oh. Yep. He was doing a JRM car back then. He KO'd it.
Hopefully he learned.
Hopefully.